Good morning, one and all, acknowledging and respected Dr. Pallavi Gupta ma'am, HOD, Gemtech School of Law, and election law professor as well, and all other member faculties, and all my dear friends. Today, I, Siddharth Bhardwaj, student of BA LLB 8th semester, Section A, will be defining about or describing you about an important case study that is Election Commission of India versus Union of India 1993. Now, some of the details about the case are here with us. The judges who decided this important case law is M. Venkatachalya, CJ at that time, and S. Mohan, Justice at that time with him. Advocates who appeared in this case are as follows: G. Ramaswamy, senior advocate for the petitioner, Mr. Kapil Sibal, H.N. Salve, and Dr. D.P. Gupta, Solicitor General at that time, presented for the respondent in this case. Now, some of the brief facts of this case are as follows. Two major sections were inserted in the year 1998 in the Representative of People Act 1951, that is, Section 13 Clause CC and Section 28A of Amendment, which states out that the election commission, while assessing any election with the preparation, revisions, and correction of electoral roll for conduct of all elections to the parliament and the state legislation deemed to be on deputation on election commission for the period during which they are so employed. And these above two sections are also employed on the police personnel as well. But the major dispute arises in the General Assembly election, where the General Assembly elections of 1993 are to be happened in major states like Delhi, Madras, Himachal Pradesh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, and other states as well. The word used discipline in these two sections were in the main question. The Election Commission, in the stating point, stated out that disciplinary actions against all election officers and staff performing election duty for any declaration of duties on their part. But the government and the state governments urged that disciplinary action airing election officer but could not take an action against them on its own. Then the Election Commission approached the Honorable Supreme Court of India for playing a vital role and clearance on the importance question powers to the election commissions conferred by the Constitution of India. The writ petition also demanded some other points also. First, the election commission to have to power to how to decide how much staff and who is required for conducting elections. The second demand by the election commission in this case, the commission to have the power to direct central and state government as well to deploy such central and police forces as considered necessary for a proper maintenance of law and order during an election. The third point demanded in this case the commission to have the services of the chief electoral officers on the state on whole time basis. Now, the issues which are framed by the Supreme Court in this case are as follows. First, the constitutional powers, scope, functions conferred to the Election Commission by the Constitution of India. Second, intervention of central government and state government in the elections. Third point, stay on the election and the use of forces like police personnel and other forces for maintenance of law and order. Now, some major interim orders passed by different high courts and how it has become a major writ petition in the Supreme Court of India is here before you. General elections are to be happened in various states, which I have already told you. But the major issue arises that all states are in conflict with these powers and other things. Now, the Supreme Court considered as the most important questions and the vital role of an election commission in conducting a free and fair election decided to submerge all the petitions and transfer petition together and SLPs together as well and make as a one writ petition over here. Now, the major interim orders were the passed in the case were the notice which is issued by the Supreme Court and have a rule that advocate generals by the state are no nominee parties to this writ petition. The several petitions which were filed for the same has been covered as SLPs and other transfer petition. It can be called as the major petition for all the petition and the same issue. The last point in this major interim order stated by the Supreme Court is that the constitutional direction postponing the poll pursuant to the electoral process earlier initiated 18 December 1993 have also come to be issued. This gave a postponement of several elections of different civil bodies and other municipal elections. On this, the further petition was also filed by Sharad Pawar, the major politician of India. His petition also merged under this. Now, the arguments which are done before the Supreme Court and Honorable Madras High Court as well, by the petitioner and the respondent as well. Now, Mr. Shri K.K. Venugopal and Shri Vidyanathan argued in the writ petition filed by the Shri Hari Salve, stating that first, urged that the order of the Election Commission on 2nd August 1993 would stultify the democratic process, that the constitutional jurisdiction and superior court was to keep governmental authorities within bounds and the bar of jurisdiction. Second point stating that urged that all overall constitutional functions to ensure that constitutional authorities function with the sphere of their respective constitutional authority for all that courts. Third point urged by them whether the blanket of suspension of electoral process perpetuated in order dated 2nd August 1993 is justiciable on that principle of judicial review is eminently arguable. Now, Shri G. Ramaswamy, Learned Counsel for Election Commission, submitted that first point, the effect of this rescission is submitted and all other notification issued pursuant to the order of 2nd August 1993 postponing to polls in individual election would also come to an end. Second point stated by them, this stand for the Election Commission is proper and reassuring. Third point stated by them is that the fixing of the date of poll is a matter for the informed judgment of the Election Commission consistent with its perceptions of the law and order situation and the ensurement of the requisite and precautionary and remedial resources. After this, no further interlocutory order was passed, but one major interim order was passed on 14 October 1993. The Supreme Court directed the Union of India and the Home Ministry officers and the state governments like DGs of BSF, CRPSF and other central police forces should sit with Election Commission and make out a settlement in this. The settlement comes out in 5 major points over here. The requirement of the observer by the Commission. The second, the deployment of the central forces in the states which were there going to be the poll. Third one point, the Home Ministry has invariable deciding the matters relating to the deployment of central police forces in consultation with the Election Commission. The fourth point settlement arouses, the senior government officers are required by the Commission for the appointment as observer in this case. The fifth and the major one in settlement arise in this case are the arrangement to make the service of the chief electoral officers selected by the Commission available to it on whole basis time. Now, these all above are the certain reliefs which are demanded by the Election Commission in this writ petition, and further it was granted and settled out by the Honorable Supreme Court and by the ministers and the state governments and the central government as well. Now, it's time to hear about the judgment, the most important judgment in the constitutional history for the Election Commission for the conducting of free and fair election. The petition which is filed before this Honorable Supreme Court was bring in the extraordinary circumstances over here. The Honorable Supreme Court of India hereby settled out settlement meeting between the Commission and the Union of India, and it's all done by the efforts of the Prime Minister and rises to mutual settlement between both of them. The functions which are decided and by settled by the Supreme Court in this order and judgment is settled out: suspending any official, police personnel for insubordination or declaration of duty. Second, substituting any officer, police personnel by another such person and returning to the substituted individual to the cadre to which belongs the appropriate report on his conduct. And the third one judgment is over here. The recommendation made by the competent authority in subordination of declaration of duty as disciplinary, the action taken against them to be notified within 6 months from the election. The fourth point and the last judgment point is that the government of India will advise the state governments that they should follow the above principle and decisions. It is to be noted, ma'am, that these terms of settlement were placed before the Honorable Supreme Court by means a joint application filed by the Election Commission and the Union of India. The Supreme Court disposed of this writ petition over that and the connected matters by the present order. The principles laid down in this case are very important, so I will discuss this now. So, first of all, the supremacy of law. Here, as the Constitution of India is considered as the supreme of the law. Article 226 and Article 32, which is concerning about the writ petitions in the Supreme Court and the High Court. Section 13 clause CC and Section 28 of Representative of People Act 1951 is also used over here. Now, at the end, I want to draw my conclusion in this. First of all, this case leads me to study wider scope of writ petitions and transfer petition and SLPs as well. At very next, it leads me about Article 324 of Constitution to read about it more and brief in the context. This case law also intervene the most major judicial principle, that is supremacy of law, and in this case the Constitution of India is considered as the most important power conferring authority. Part 15 of the Constitution also discussed in this because election is over there. It provides a mere new learning of Section 13 clause CC and 28 section which was inserted in the amendment year of 1988. Last, it gives me the learning how to summarize any case law and provides me knowledge of other distinguished provisions. So at last, thanking you for assigning me this project. Thank you, ma'am.